Hello, darlings. Ooh, Smileen here and total helmet head. I pulled off on the side of a run just to sit and chill for a second. How to make a ski seat. This thing saves my life so many times when I just want to rest and I don't want to go into the lodge. But it's funny, I was just talking to my trainer who we were kidding around and I said, you know, I'm coming to Aspen again because you still owe me from stabbing me. So we joked, but I really did get stabbed by him. And you know what? Now I can put stabbing on my list of things that I'm not afraid of anymore because this is no joke. So we used to do this thing in ski school called a torchlight parade. When I tell this to people, it sounds really stupid, but it was absolutely super cool. So here we are, torchlight parade. The instructors used to do it and it was beautiful. We're talking 6-foot pole with a flare attached to each side of it, okay? Duct taped. And they set them on fire when we get to the top and we come down one at a time and make beautiful S-turns if we can. It's really beautiful to watch. Well, one year they decided to open up to the general public. You had to sign your life away. Understand, 6-foot pole, flares on the side, okay? So now instead of this beautiful little S and it's a parade, we have people flying down all over the place. So we get to the bottom. You have to understand these are flares that you use when you're breaking down on the side of the road. They'll burn through your gear. They'll burn through your skis. So you don't wear any of your nice stuff to do this because you don't want to ruin it. Well, now these snowboarders, like the last one down, is pretty wasted out of his mind. We have to be honest. And he just drops the flare and sparks are flying everywhere. So my boss goes over, grabs it. He pulls out his pocket knife and he slices the duct tape off. Well, I ran for the other one. You know, we're always safety first. So I run for the other one. I just use my thumbnail, slice this thing off. We both come up at the same time and he stabs me right here, right behind my ear. Both of us were so shocked we didn't know what to do. I just took my dirty ass mitten and covered it. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, oh my God, I stabbed you. I'm like, it'll be okay. He's like, no, it won't. Grabs me by my hood and starts dragging me over to ski patrol. We get in there and he starts screaming, Butch, I stabbed Smileen. And Butch thinks it's a joke because he's very like that. And he's like, no, really, I stabbed her. I'm like, it's okay, but here's the deal. I'm going to bleed a lot because I'm on a blood thinner. And then next thing you know, the ski patrol is yelling at me like, why are you skiing on a blood thinner? I'm like, can we deal with the stabbing? Like, let's deal with the stabbing. So I'm like, just get me some paper towels. It's going to bleed a lot. I already know this. Now, meanwhile, I can feel this thing like pulsating in my neck, okay? He's like, no, I'm sure we can hunt up a little gauze for you. So they break out some gauze. I'm like, we got to clean this thing. That pocket knife is filthy, so we got to let it bleed a little. And I take my glove off, and he's like, no, it's fine. It's not even bleeding, but I can feel thump, 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 thump. And sure enough, it just starts to gush, which thank God, because it got the majority of the dirt out, I hoped. Well, now they pack my head and he's like, you have to wash this. We have to make sure it stops bleeding. So I have this giant thing of gauze and I'm like, I'll just wear my ear warmer and shove the gauze underneath. So I come out of ski patrol and I got this big white wad of gauze on my head. Now the director's like, hey, Smileen, you know, we really need to watch you. I'm like, no, you guys just go skiing. It's really fine. Like, I totally understand, but I know I got to sit down here and wait this out. I can't just drive 37 miles through the forest alone and hope I don't bleed out from the neck. Seriously. So Timmer looks at me and he's like, well, if we have to watch you, because somebody needs to watch you, why don't we just take another run? I'm like, I can't ski without my poles. He's like, you and these stupid poles. Now, here's the thing. I just don't like to fall. So I use the poles to pick myself up. I've got bad knees. I hate to fall. So either that or I have to take off a ski, and I hate doing that. So he's like, I'll carry your poles. I'm like, no, I need my poles. He's like, you don't need your poles. Well, we had his 2 teenage daughters with us on the lift too. So we get up and all of a sudden, of course, moronic me gets on the left. I'm thinking, okay, I'll deal with it there. The ear warmer seems to be holding the gauze in nicely. I'm still holding pressure the whole lift right up. And then it's only like less than 7 minutes down. I could let this down for that. Well, all of a sudden, we're on the left and the run that we're going off of, all the lights blow out. I'm really not kidding. Like, now we have no lights, nothing but moonlight, and then you can see where the run is gonna get some lighting again. Well, the 2 girls start screaming. These 2 yahoos take one look at the 3 of us and go, be one with the darkness, and jump over the headrail and leave me with these 2 teenage girls and a wad of gauze being held up by my ear warmer. Like, this is really ridiculous levels. The girls start screaming. I do the same thing I do with everything. I'm like, everybody stop. Breathe. 3 deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. We've got moonlight All we have to do is ski through this really pitch black part and we'll be fine. But screaming ruins your muscles. It causes panic attacks. This is another one of those where we all could have had a panic attack. But instead, next thing you know, one at a time, we just started going. I waited for the girls, so in case they fell. And it was the most quiet, beautiful skiing in the entire world. I am not kidding. We became one with the darkness. I didn't think about the stabbing. We were just making S-turns all the way around. Now, the crazy part is we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Literally, the lights are coming on in another area. And the minute, one at a time, each one of us, including myself, got into the area of the light, we all started to scream because then we became light blind and we're all kind of skidding. Be one with the darkness. I didn't worry about it. We all got to the bottom. Now I'm like, okay, I really got to go home. My boyfriend at the time is going to take Well to the big giant wad of gauze. And now I said I was not going to ski late and I'm here all night. And they're like, one more run, one more run. I'm like, no, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble for this one. And I need to make sure that I don't need a tetanus shot. So sure enough, I was in trouble like you can't imagine. Went to ski school the next day, taught all day. And the whole day my neck's getting worse. By the end of the day, I'm like, now we're infected. So we needed to get back down to the valley, hit a Walgreens. And I'm just telling you, telling the pharmacist at Walgreens that I need a tetanus shot because I was stabbed in ski school, skiing with flares, and then showing him it's right behind my neck, it was a hair away from my jugular. So wildly weird experience that, how lucky am I? Really, be one with the darkness. Don't let the panic attacks get to you. I used to be afraid of being stabbed. Now I can check that one off my list. So, bye for now. Thanks to everybody who likes and subscribes. We so appreciate you. We really do.